So you're thinking about making a move to Calgary, but you're not sure if it's the right move for your family. Of course, the important thing to do is always to gather the information and then make an informed decision. Well, today I'm going to share with you 7 reasons why you should move to Calgary. Now let's get into the video. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to know absolutely everything there is to know about Calgary, click that subscribe button and click the notification bell if you want to be the first to be updated with the current market. My name's Adriel with the Greater YYC Group, and we've helped many families make the move from all across Canada, whether it's Ontario, whether it's BC. Many people have moved to Calgary over the last few years, and we have had the privilege to be able to help them find their home and relocate to Calgary. Now, I understand it's not always an easy decision to make a move, especially with a family, and that's why I've gathered this information for you to help you make an informed decision. So without further ado, let's get into the first reason. So number 1, the economy. So Calgary actually has a diverse economy with a focus on oil and gas, technology, finance, and also healthcare. So if you work in one of these sectors, you may find ample job opportunities. Now, we understand here in Alberta, the economy is heavily tied to the energy sector, but there has been a lot of emphasis on diversification over the last few years, helping to maintain economic stability even during energy industry fluctuations. I know some of you are thinking, I don't have the qualifications to find a job opportunity in any of these sectors. Will I be able to find a job? Yes, there are other job opportunities. You just have to go out there and look. But I do recommend finding an opportunity before you make that move, especially because when it comes to qualifying for a mortgage, you do need to be in a job for at least 90 days to be able to qualify. Now, of course, this is not mortgage advice. I always recommend speaking with a mortgage broker, and if you do need one, I'm able to refer a few mortgage brokers that I work with. Tax is another one, especially when it comes to sales tax. Alberta continues to have an overall tax advantage over other provinces in Canada. With no sales tax, no payroll tax, and no health premiums, Alberta actually only pays GST, which is the federal tax. We do not have HST here, or PST, provincial sales tax. So that's something to keep in mind when thinking about making that move. GST is 5%. For those of you who are not aware, and that's all we have to pay when it comes to sales tax. Now, number 3 is one of my favorites. Calgary is the sunniest city in Canada. So sunshine is obviously a huge deal when it comes to, you know, for some people emotionally, mentally, and especially during winter. Just being able to see the sun and to feel the warmth from inside during the winter, it does a lot for your emotions. And I know many people, especially those in BC, they've mentioned about the gloomy skies and the rainy days. It does affect them emotionally. So the great thing about Calgary is that, you know, you will have sun for about 333 days out of the year, which is a huge deal. So even in the winter, you can count on seeing the sun. You won't be able to feel it from outside when it's minus 30, but again, just having that bright sunshine, it does a lot emotionally. Number 4, another reason to move to Calgary is the Rocky Mountains, as well as natural beauty. The Rocky Mountains and natural beauty actually just go hand in hand. It's absolutely stunning over here, especially in Calgary. I know some people have said, you know, well, I can move to Edmonton or I can move to, you know, other parts of Alberta. But the great thing about Calgary is its proximity to the mountains. We can drive about 30 to 45 minutes and you'll be in the Rocky Mountains, depending on which part of Calgary you live in. But again, it's an hour drive to Canmore and an hour and a half to Banff, and approximately 2 hours to Lake Louise. Of course, depending on the speed that you're driving, but I always recommend staying within the legal limit. Now, if you live in Edmonton, I know there are other ways to get to the mountains. A lot of people drive to the north side of Calgary to head into the mountains. So you're gonna wanna add another 2.5 to 3 hours to the drive to all of those locations that I mentioned. So definitely Calgary is the place to be, especially if you want to be close to the mountains. You can do activities both in the winter or the summer. It really doesn't matter, because in the winter a lot of people go out there and they still do hiking and stuff like that. They go skiing, they go snowboarding in the mountains. There are so many mountains and lakes to be able to see beautiful lakes like Moraine Lake, Lake Louise, Peyto Lake, Lake Minnewanka, Barrier Lake. Like, I can go on for days just listing out all the lakes that you can see, and each of them have their own characteristics, their own unique look. So you're definitely gonna wanna check those places out. And if you don't wanna go too far, you can always go to places like Elbow Falls and Bragg Creek, which are nearby locations. You can get there in about 30 to 45 minutes. You can have a look at the waterfalls, you can spend a day there with your family, have something to eat and head back home, and it's not too much of a strenuous drive. So number 5 on my list is Calgary is a family-friendly city. So Calgary is known for its safety and low crime rate, especially compared to other major cities in Canada. This makes it very welcoming for families and a great place to raise kids. Calgary also has extensive networks of playgrounds, parks, and recreational facilities, many of which have been built and developed within the last 3 to 5 years. Families can also enjoy outdoor bike riding, hiking, going for walks because of the extensive trails that the city is really developed around. There are trails all over Calgary in each quadrant of the city where you can go bike riding for kilometers and just enjoy the city. Some examples are Fish Creek Provincial Park, which is in the southeast quadrant. You've got downtown area where you can go bike riding on Princess Island. You've got North Glenmore Park close to the reservoir, Nose Hill Park, Stanley Park, and much more to explore. Now, number 6 is healthcare. Now, for those of you who are moving from the US, one thing that is great about Calgary is, and Canada on a whole, is that we have free healthcare. But Calgary specifically has a well-developed healthcare system with modern facilities, and there's a focus on patient care. Now, generally, if it's something like emergency, you will have to wait quite a bit to be seen, but there are wait times available online depending on which location you choose, so you'll be able to see where the wait times are longer or shorter and determine which of the hospitals you'd like to go to. Now, my family recently had a great experience at the hospital, specifically the NICU at Foothills Hospital, where our second daughter received care as she was a premature baby, and it has been phenomenal. The nurses and the doctors were absolutely amazing. The Foothills Medical Center actually has a unit that specializes in neonatal care. You know, we've been told that a lot of people have even flown their kids to this facility to receive the best care. So it's something to keep in mind when, you know, having a family. You really want the best care, and the Foothills Medical Center also specializes in trauma. There's cancer treatment as well. There's also the South Health Campus, which is the newest hospital in Calgary. I believe it went into operation between 2014 to 2016. This is a great hospital. They have private rooms. They also have a lot of amazing staff there as well. So this is in the southeast quadrant of Calgary. Rocky View Hospital in the southwest, Alberta Children's Hospital as well in the northwest of Calgary, and you also have Peter Lougheed Hospital in the northeast of Calgary. So it's really equipped, a lot of hospitals, to be able to help the residents of Calgary in every quadrant. Now, number 7 on my list is also a favorite of mine. Last but not least, it's housing. This is probably one of the major reasons to move to Calgary, and I know a lot of people, especially those who have families and you want a better standard of living when it comes to housing. This is one of the reasons why most of my clients actually are moving as well. Because, for example, the average house prices for a detached home in Vancouver or Toronto, you're looking at over $1 million for a detached property. Whereas in Calgary, you can find a detached property anywhere between the high 500,000s into the 700,000s depending on the type of home. I know some of you are still wondering, even with the interest rates, would I be able to find something? Absolutely. If you're looking at Toronto or BC, where you have land transfer tax, where you have HST or PST to pay on top of that, where you have higher closing costs, the average closing costs in Calgary, you're looking at around $1,500 to $2,000. So again, the numbers don't lie. Do the math, and you have to really make a decision that's favorable for you. I'm not telling you this for my benefit. At the end of the day, it's going to be you and your families who live in the homes that you purchase. So I'm just providing the information, and hopefully this will help give you the information you need to make an informed decision. So I know there are some of you who like to know the numbers. So just to give you an idea, the benchmark price for Calgary on a whole is around $570,000 for property. So this is the average across all types of homes. So we're talking here detached, semi-detached or duplexes as we call it here in Calgary, townhomes, condo apartments. If you want to break those out individually, looking at, for detached homes, the average price is $696,000. For semi-detached homes, the average price across all homes in Calgary, you're looking at around $623,000. For townhomes, you're looking at around $413,000. And condo apartments, the average price is around $309,000. Now, we are seeing a trend with each of these property sectors showing monthly gains. So whether it's 1 to 2% increases, they are increasing slowly. So if this is something that you're looking for and you want to get in the market before they continue to increase, feel free to reach out. And also keep in mind that interest rate announcements from the Bank of Canada will be continuing. I believe the next interest rate announcement is on October 25th and also December 6th. So of course we cannot predict what the Bank of Canada is going to do. It all depends on inflation and so many other factors, but this is something to keep in mind. It would be ideal, of course, for us if the interest rates remain as they are, but there's no telling if they would increase it or not. So I hope this information was helpful. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to myself. My information is in the description below. I'll be more than happy to provide a little bit of clarity if needed, and also a little bit of insight as well. I know some of you have been asking for the community tours, just to give you an idea. So I will be doing more of that. And if you have any other suggestions, please leave it in the comments below and I'll get those videos out for you. Hope you enjoyed. My name's Adriel and I'm here to make real estate your reality.